Uh, uh, oh, hi. Sorry, I'm wondering why I'm doing this to myself. Uh, so, I have finished the second part of the area lock, and the video is now edited together. But it's about an hour long, maybe longer. Oh, why do I do this to myself? Anyway, let's go ahead and get the intro going. Area lock part 2. Let's get it all over and done with in one go. If you'll give me a moment, I'm just, why do I do this to myself? Right, guys, so before we get started, I just want to say thank you guys so much for at least viewing the last video. I do have something planned coming up, and as of today's date, it will be happening on Sunday, the 18th of May, 2025. So that's the plan coming up. I do have something planned, more will be explained at the end of the video. But again, thank you guys so much for watching, and if you're enjoying it, throw a like. It's not going to hurt anyone. And if you like subscribing, go ahead and subscribe. I'm going to try and get more content up here and on my Patreon. But with that being said, we're going to go ahead, we're going to crack on, and let's start explaining what happened in the area lock. So, as you can see, we did manage to complete South Province Area 1 in the previous part, thank God for that. So, we started off on East Province Area 1. My goal for this area was in fact a Steenie. I have one, but I wanted one to get to fully evolve, so I can have the amazing Pokemon that can just kick you in the face and completely knock you out. So to start with, I found a good area to run around. It's up a hill, good slanted area. I was hunting in this area before for it when I got my very first one, so I knew that this area had a lot of promise to it. Obviously, we can't guarantee a Steenie. We still do get some other Pokemon showing up. So here's hoping that it all pans out and we manage to get everything done properly. But yeah, I managed to start off with knocking some out, walking around. Occasionally I get things like Deerlings, Litleos, Oinkalongs. And yeah, we would just roam around, slow walk, pan around. Obviously, not the most thrilling thing in the world, but I'll tell you what, it was a lot of work, but end of the day, it was all worth it. But yeah, it mainly just consists of us running around, making sure things ran smoothly, using my Vikavolt, lovely shiny, given to me by a good friend, to go ahead and catch some good Pokemon. I don't know why I jumped there. Apparently I felt like jumping. But yeah. We were mainly hoping to get the Steenie, but I wouldn't really mind anything in this area. Obviously, I did manage to find an Ackley at one point, and I was just praying to God an Ackley did not spawn, because that would be a curse. And is now a good point to make. Area lock rules, we cannot get duplicates, and I made it for the whole evolutionary line. So obviously before I'd caught a Psyduck, if I ran into a Golduck, I could not use it for the area lock, but it would still count as one I would have to trade away. So obviously trying to avoid duplicates where I could was such a big goal. if I somehow got a duplicate throughout this entire thing, I think I'd cry if I lost it when I, you know, had to give everything away. If I had to give everything away. But yeah, there wasn't really a big goal apart from just finding the Steenie. So obviously trying to find the Steenie was such a big goal for us that we spent a good amount of time here. We spent, I believe I remember correctly, 30 minutes to an hour here. I know that we had made a Grass Encounter 2 sandwich and was just roaming around. As you can tell, the game is currently at night time. I believe at some point it went back to day, and we did have to end up making a second sandwich. But for the most part, it was just running around. Komala did spawn occasionally, which would have been nice to have. I would have loved a Komala as well. The pink drum it holds is like just adorable, and it's just a mood. I feel like Komala more than anything is a mood of just like, oh, bedtime. But yeah, as you can see from just there, we did find a couple areas where we got nothing but Steenies and a couple of small things. So this was a very good area, I felt, for trying to get Steenies, hence why I used it. Because it was just so good, you could run around for a little bit and get loads of Steenies here and there. Occasionally we did get things like Venonats, Lechonks, Teddiursas, but again, it was just a nice chill walk around. Obviously there were times where I would just look at a Steenie and go, why? Why have you betrayed me? You are not the one I am searching for. Or I'd get things chasing me and it would just be very annoying. But yeah, we did spend a lot of time actually standing still and spinning around repeatedly, because I definitely didn't want to miss out on anything walking away and despawning and spawning something new. So there were times where I was just stood around for ages spinning in circles. Obviously not wanting to miss any opportunities of a shiny spawning, I just didn't want to risk it, so I definitely stayed still for a little bit. The one issue I did find with Steenie though, if you get the question mark for it, it will follow you, and it will just completely follow you all the way to the edge, and like, you know, just keep its eye on you and follow you, and therefore stay in the spawn radius and not despawn, creating new spawns. So you just had it following you, which was a bit annoying at times, but it was something I could work around and, you know, kind of work with. At times I did manage to group them all together, get a bunch with me, and then just sprint out of their range. So a bunch despawned at once, and I just got a bunch of Steenies again, or a couple of other things mixed in there. But it was interesting. But yeah, going for this long was challenging. But yeah, if I remember correctly, we went ahead, we made a second Grass Encounter 2 sandwich. I think it was only 2. Yes, we basically spent less than 50 minutes here. 50 minutes? Less than 40 minutes, I should be more precise, in this area. But yeah, not long after making the second sandwich, I'd say within the next 5 minutes, we managed to grab it. By your luck. Stop up here. Wait, is that it? Oh, shiny Toedscool! We got it! Do you guys see him? I see him! We got him! Look at him! Look at him! There's our special little guy. Yeah, I don't know why I started talking like that. But obviously, Toedscool managed to spawn, and thank God for that. I couldn't work my menu right, so I couldn't get the camera up because I'm an absolute dumbass. But as you can see, shiny Toedscool, the beautiful boy himself, showed up and graced us with his presence. Look at that. Nice, crisp. I did take some... I've never really done it before when I find a shiny. I've never really taken photos of it. So I thought I'd try and get into doing it a little bit now that I'm doing this challenge. I figured I might as well try and do it a little bit. But yeah, you can see me right here just messing around, trying to get a nice little pose with the little buddy himself, Toedscool. Steenie there in the background, just wanting to be part of it. It's a bit upsetting I didn't get Steenie, but honestly, Toedscool, mad lad, love it. Honestly, it is such a crisp shiny. I am a bit upset though that they didn't make it a Tentacool regional variant. They just made it a whole new Pokemon. But honestly, can't complain. Toad School was an amazing find, and honestly, a shiny I've always wanted to try and grab, but never really set time for. So this was a very nice surprise to have, and I can always go ahead and get another Steenie at a later date. Oh, but look at that boy. Look at him in the palm of my hand. But yeah, we decided to go ahead and just catch him. We suppose we should go ahead and attempt to get him as best as I can. Obviously, he did start running away, so I panicked a little bit trying to like get zoned in on him. I whistled for some odd reason because I panicked that much. I didn't know. Me trying to run around him to get hit him in the back was very stupid, so I just went for it in the end. But yeah, shiny Toad School, and obviously a crisp Premier Ball for him meant he was a perfect addition to the area. A crisp Premier Ball with a critical capture meant he was a crisp addition, and South Province area, not South Province, Jesus. East Province Area 1 complete. Area 2. The goal for this area, I didn't really have anything in mind. Obviously, I know for a fact that Nokemon went down to the beach and decided to go for Mareanie. I didn't want to really copy what Nokemon did. As much as I love Mareanie, I did have one already and its evolution. So I didn't really want to go through and catch a duplicate of Nokemon and make it seem like I'm just completely copying what they do. So I did go ahead. I looked around to see what else was around. Obviously, I still had the grass encounter level 2 sandwich up, but obviously not much is really going to spawn in that regard with that, apart from, you know, deerlings. But we did explore the water area as well. We did find out that you can go past East Province Area 2 and go into the sea, so I had to be very careful of that. But gauging our options, we did have, you know, Finizins and all of that sort of stuff, Shelders, which would have been nice. But I think in the end we didn't really want to be stuck in the ocean and risk it being in the sea. So we did move around to behind the city. Obviously we have a little beach area and its own little right by the ocean as well, which still counted as East Province Area 2. So we gauged our options, saw some Grimers, Curliers, some Rookies. I panicked a little bit thinking it was shiny, but obviously it wasn't, so we went ahead and moved on. Decided to jump down a little bit and see what options were around here. Nothing but more Grimers, Rookies. In the wall, while it was raining, it was a bit annoying because obviously game lags a little bit every now and then. We did see Magnemite. We do still get some other options that show up around here. But yeah, I didn't see anything interesting in that area, and it was so small, hard to reset, so I decided to move away and test out a completely different area, running around trying to see what options I had. I did run into a Marill, but I don't know why it was there. I just didn't see it, but who knows, might have been a sign. We'll never know really, will we? Moving further back up towards the Pokemon Center where I originally came from, I tried to gauge options on what spawned. Didn't really see much apart from Deerlings and Magnemites. I did test over here to see if this was still part of Area 2, and it was indeed. So we did have a ruin area. And checking out the map, I saw that it was a slanted area. Tried to avoid the Cetotl outbreaks that I had going on at the time. So decided to check out the ruin area, see what spawned around. And, well, we had a couple things spawning. I did see a Mimikyu, which might have been nice. Obviously, we did still have the Hoppips, Skipblooms, and things like that spawning. I decided not to go for Mimikyu because I know for a fact that I had other areas coming up where it spawned, and in case I didn't want duplicates, I decided to try and avoid it as best I could. I saw Bronzors, and Tinkertons. Tinkertiffs. Tinkertink? The Tink line. We'll go with the Tinkertink line. But again, I decided to run around and just see what options I had altogether. We did have quite a few things spawning, and, you know, there was still a fair amount to be done. But I honestly reckon it was just all for the best to just keep going around and seeing what we had available to us. with that being said, we did have Tauros running around. I did try to avoid them so none ran into me. That was a big goal. I didn't really want to get hit by a Tauros. God, that motherfucker would tackle me to the goddamn earth. But obviously, being at the top of the hill, I decided to look around, climbed up, and just looked in the little, like, crater at the top of the hill. Not much really spawned there. I did try to run around and see if I could get any different spawns, but nothing else really spawned apart from, you know, the generic Wattrel, Magnemite, Deerling, Oinkologne occasionally, things like that just spawned. We did fly around for a little bit, trying to see if anything spawned, but decided in the end just to drop that back down, and being on ground level is probably for the best. Again, trying to reset spawns, seeing what I could get. All the duplicates because it's just the Grass Encounter 2 sandwich. So by the end of it, we just tried to figure out what we could get. I think at one point I was just running around trying to make my sandwich run out so that I could get other stuff spawning. Was a main goal. I completely forgot about the Sottle Outbreak, so I tried to run away as fast as I can and go the long way around to avoid any spawning. Eventually, we just decided to stick by the ruin area and just see what we could have show up, really. Nothing much really spawned, but I think at the end of it, I wanted to go for Tinkertuff because, honestly, I haven't got a Tinkertink or Tinkertuff yet, and it just seemed like a very good option. So I decided to save my game, open up my picnic, and, well, I was going to make a sandwich, but, well, how can I put this? Yeah, I kind of went AFK for some odd reason. I don't remember why, so my screen was completely blacked out. Obviously something came up and I had to go away and do something. So, yeah, we were just sat at the picnic for fucking ages. But, yeah, I think when I came back, all we decided to do was make a fairy-type sandwich. The fairy-type sandwich was logical for Tinkertuff, and so it just made sense to go for level 2 fairy. And Tinkertuff was our main goal in our main mission for this area. Looking around though, I completely forgot Marill was spawning, so we managed to get a bunch of Marills as well. And obviously with them spawning, it made things a little bit more difficult. Trying to get Tinkertuff and, you know, not break the knockout combo and things like that. But obviously you can't really expect things to go how you want them to. So you just roll with it. There's nothing wrong with that, right? Surely not. With that being said, though, we were just trying to run around, mainly trying to get more Tinkertuffs to spawn. That was the main goal of everything. Occasionally, some did spawn, but at the same time, weren't really, well, in a very obvious spot. But yeah, unfortunately there were a lot of Marills spawning. But yeah, as you can see, knocking out Tinkertuffs, we did still get Bronzors showing up occasionally, which was a bit annoying. But you do also occasionally get the 1 or 2 Tinkertuffs just stuck in a wall, like so. And you can't auto battle it, so you gotta run into it. But with that being said, and all the jokes aside, we were just running around, hoping for Tinkertuffs, Marills were spawning, Tauros were chasing me. It got interesting, but mainly just trying to reset spawns and have things show up. But eventually, after a little while, only one fairy encounter 2 sandwich, surprisingly, so within 30 minutes, something else just happened to show up.
Oh, green Marill. Got it. Got it.
Yep, we got the Marill. So obviously, because it's green, the friend ball seemed like the only logical choice, and that was Marill. Lovely captured and wonderful. Okay, never mind. We're just gonna reset the game and pretend that never happened. But with that being said, we just re-encountered it, and obviously the friend ball was still the only logical choice for it. So we went ahead and caught it. East Province, Area 2, completed, and that is a fine addition, Marill. Now let's go ahead and move on to East Province, Area 3. This was interesting. I had no idea what spawned here in terms of shinies, in what I wanted and what I could get. Loads of different options. You had steel types, poison types, ground types, fire types, fighting types. There was a lot of stuff here. We ran around for a little bit because, you know, obviously I still have my encounter sandwich up and it wasn't something I really needed. And that would affect this area. So thankfully the fairy type sandwich didn't really do much here. So I could just run around, explore, see what we could get. There were a few Pokemon I kind of wanted. Varoom would have been nice. Rufflet would have been brilliant, honestly. It's something I was considering, in all honesty. But I feel like Rufflet is too hard for me to discern the difference. So I decided to go ahead and leave that be. But after a little bit of wandering around and checking, I decided that I wanted to go for Makuhita and Hariyama. So with that decision in mind, I went ahead, made a fighting type level 2 sandwich, and began the hunt in a very specific area that I found a lot of them spawn, and it's the group spawns. A nice little cozy area where it's just walking up and down. So I would stand on that hill, I would then walk away, get them to despawn, check around me again, because they are a group spawn, which is perfect for this area. I'd then run up the hill a little bit after checking, make sure none of them are shiny. Once none are shiny, I run back down. I do check around me occasionally to make sure nothing else spawns. But yeah, that was just it. Rinse and repeat. Look around, despawn, make the group spawn, because you get 4 Makuhitas and 1 Hariyama. And obviously the shinies for them are pretty obvious, but oh, it would have been so nice to have them. But yeah, once I hit the top, I just glided down to a certain point and just let the group spawn. Obviously walking away a little bit, knocking out some of them. Doing my best to just try and increase the shiny odds where I can without having to use sparking power or anything like that. But after a little while, something very interesting happened when I was just going through the rhythm. As you can see, a Roly-Coly showed up, and of course, it decided to be shiny. But it's okay. It just means I'm now done with the East Province. East Province Area 3 is complete with Roly-Coly, a fine Blue Boy edition made.
You're kidding me.
So we go ahead and move on to West Province Area 1. This area I had a little bit of experience with, but I had a prime candidate for what I wanted to catch right off the bat. So obviously, there's a couple of areas here where you can explore, great places to reset, but I really only had a couple of goals in mind for this area. One of them primarily being a certain area near some windmills, and another just far away with a single windmill. But as I still had the fighting sandwich, I decided to try and hunt for a Mankey. Shiny Mankey is not the best shiny, he just looks slightly sick. But honestly, it just seemed like the right thing to go for with the fighting type sandwich still up. I did find a couple of places where I can do that. And I could still occasionally get Makuhitas to spawn, so a missed opportunity could still be caught. So rolling with that, I decided to just go with a certain area, picnic for a bit, and rinse and repeat. Just picnic, close it down, re-picnic, reset spawns. After a while though, it didn't really pan out as well as I was hoping, so I decided to go ahead and look in a different place. I found the Phalanx area near the ruins, where lots of Phalanx spawn, and a lovely fighting type there would have been fantastic. Shiny Phalanx looks splendid. But in this area alone, there were multiple different options and multiple different fighting types I could get. And it just seemed like the right thing to go for at the time. So, sticking with the fighting type theme, I decided to go check on top of the hill to see what could spawn up there potentially. There were some Fampies, but I wasn't really vibing with that. So I did just try to keep an eye out for the Mankeys, reset spawns, see what could spawn group-wise or single-wise. But yeah, I had to unfortunately make another Fighting 2 sandwich. So, means we were here for about 30 minutes. Great. This is going great so far. But I can't complain because it's basically been one sandwich per area. So we've been lucky in that regard in terms of finishing off one sandwich and making a new one. Obviously, we did get the Pormo and Pormo group. Group, like, you know, all spawning and all that. But not much was happening. So I'd run up to the top of the hill, run down to the ruins, and run around the ruins and rinse and repeat. Going up and down and up and down. After a little while, it got a little bit repetitive. I did try out a different area near the windmills and the path near the Pokemon Center. I would run up and down that for a bit with the fighting type sandwich. But yeah, we'd start at the top, glide our way down slowly or sprint down slowly, depending on what we were doing, near the windmills. So we would just look around, mainly see Mankeys, occasionally some Mosquito and other stuff, some Mudbrays. But we glide around for a little bit, and not much was spawning, but we were still getting the Mankeys, which was the main goal. Mankeys, still looking for the green. We knew what our mission was. After a while, though, it wasn't really panning out, so we did end up going back to the ruin area and just running around there for a bit, going back to the old method of check each platform, glide down, reset spawns where we can, make sure to check below us in case they spawn below us. It can happen, I've seen it before. But obviously it wasn't really panning out, so we went ahead and, well, climbed up a little bit, checked up the top. But eventually, after doing this for a little while, something happened when I decided to change tactics.
I was happy about things like you though, but I probably would have said
I said it in my
Mikey.
head. Makes you feel better, I did say it. Once I stop playing this, I'll probably leave the VC and just chill.
Fair enough. Take a for me right now. Fair enough.
Wait.
Ah! Ask and you shall fucking receive.
I was about to make a joke. She's a Pokemon. Fuck off, you're not wanted.
There it is.
100 years later.
There it is. Ask and you shall receive. Fucking shiny Pormo. To be fair, it's not a Naclu, so I'll fucking take it. Fuck bitch. Yep, that's right. I asked and I received. Pormo was spawned. Not the best shiny I could possibly ask for, but it got me out the area, so I'm happy to take it. It was a little bit complicated to catch because he didn't really like it, but we managed to get him in a lovely heal ball. West Province Area 1 is complete, and Paul makes a fine addition to the collection to continue on the area lock. Asado Desert. My oh my, how this area cursed me. I was streaming and doing offline for this area lock. Getting this sort of thing done was very challenging, but nothing was more challenging than this desert. In total, I would say I spent a good 10 hours in this desert. Easy. 100% easily 10 hours in this desert alone. On and off stream, this is where I just hit a standstill completely. I did double check my footage. Originally, I told my mates because I thought it was like, 3 to 4 hours sort of thing. It wasn't that long, maybe 6 at most. No, rechecking footage, it is about 10 hours. About 10 hours in this godforsaken desert. Nothing. Nothing and nothing. It was just dead. I went for grass types to go for a Cacnea because Cacnea, I haven't got one. I love how it looks, and it was just amazing. Not many grass types spawned. Occasionally Bramblin will go by, but you're not going to notice a Bramblin. So we just ignored him, and we went for a goddamn shiny Cacnea. Oh my god, was this difficult. I decided to just do picnic resets for a little bit to get things to spawn, and then I'd run around for a little bit, picnic, run around, knock out occasionally, but it just wasn't spawning. It was very annoying, very complicated, and just hurtful. We did do our best to knock some out, along with the Bramblin rolling around. Bit difficult, but we managed to get it done. After a little bit of time, though, it got repetitive. I just didn't know what to do. Managed to find a good area where a decent amount of Cacnea spawned. We did unfortunately get the little guys as well. Their names eludes me as of this moment. But they spawned as well. Eventually I decided to be near the town because Cacnea spawned there. So I would walk into town, walk out of town, and respawn the Cacnea. A lot better than picnic resetting. A lot more smoother. Lag a little bit because it was sandstorming. But we still managed to get them to spawn, which was a good thing. Unfortunately, the sandstorm did happen multiple times and lagged my game so fucking much. I wanted to cry. But obviously, running backwards and forwards into town can get a bit boring, and especially with... I'm a very patient guy. I want to throw this out there. I'm a very patient guy in terms of running and resetting and aerial and the shiny hunting and all that. I'm a very patient guy. I can go for a long time. But Jesus, it just wouldn't work, and it was just so slow. I changed location. Completely changed location, and I don't know. Something just felt off with it. So in the end, I decided to walk away from the Cacnea defeated. And instead, went ahead and decided to do, surprisingly, exactly what Nokimon did. I decided to change course and go ahead and aim for one little fella in particular. Relor. I wanted the Golden Poop Ball Beetle. The idea behind it was the gold would be very obvious between, the brown balls. It'd be very obvious to tell the difference between them. So I decided to change location and go for Relors. The amount of time spent on Relors alone, the Cacnea was about 2 hours worth. That meant I spent 8 hours on Relor alone. Just running backwards and forwards, up and down, left and right. Doing my best to just try and shrink down what was happening and make it so it wasn't as bad as it was, like, you know, previously with the Cacnea. But it just wouldn't work, and it was very painful, very annoying, and the amount of sandwiches, ingredients, and all that I ended up using was, oh my god, heartbreaking. 100% heartbreaking. Some of it was just unbearable. But I think by the end of it, it was just worth continuing to go and just walk through day and night, up and down, reset spawns, picnics occasionally. And the amount of stuff I had to go through, I definitely decided to stick with the bug encounter sandwiches, because that just meant a lot of it was Relor rather than going for anything else. It just made it so much easier to find him. But Jesus, it did not make it any easier. I'm surprised, honestly, 100% that nothing else shiny spawned during this. And I know I didn't miss one. And I have rechecked the footage again and again and again to make sure I didn't miss one. No, I didn't. It just took forever to spawn anything shiny. Which really, honestly, shocked me. And honestly, there were parts where it was very painful. And it just, I think I had to take a break from it at one point. I did take a break from it and just completely stopped it entirely. It got tiring very fast. It was painful, but bearable at the same time. But I decided to go ahead and stream it all again and continue on a stream. After a little while in the stream, we made a sandwich after finishing off the previous one. Running around with it, it was very interesting trying to find a shiny Relor. Interesting being very nice. I hate Relor now. It's one of my least favorite Pokemon. But it didn't matter. We decided to go ahead and make another bug encounter sandwich. After being made, we ran around for a little bit. And I swear to God, I never predicted the outcome of what happened next. Why is that one not getting blown away?
Oh my god! Oh my god! Shiny Bramblin! He doesn't get blown away! He doesn't get blown away! Yes! There it is!
So yeah, apparently a shiny Bramblin does not get blown away with the sandstorm. That was news to me. But, it was over. With this, we can get out of this godforsaken desert. Bramblin, you are a lifesaver, and I love you so much. Shiny Bramblin, caught for the area lock. And that means we can now move on, because Asado Desert is complete with a shiny Bramblin caught. Now, we go ahead to West Province Area 2. And for this area, I had no idea what to go for. But I decided to go ahead and make the one and only Dragon type sandwich. Because obviously we had Cyclizard. Runs around, respawns and despawns itself, makes everything wonderful. But avoiding them can be a pain in the ass. The amount I ran into was unbelievable. So many run into. But it was okay. It was okay. We could run around, avoid them, glide, do whatever we needed to do to avoid it, and we just went for Cyclizards. After a while though, it got a bit challenging to avoid them, and I was honestly running into more than I could keep an eye out for the other ones despawning. I had to be on a constant move, which honestly is a bit difficult for me to do. I am not very good at multitasking. So after a little while, I decided to say, I'm sorry, Cyclozard, I love you, but we're going to have to move on away from you. So I went ahead, picnicked again, and decided to go ahead and make a Dark Encounter 2 sandwich. Mainly aiming for a shiny Stunky. We did get Mastiffs as well, but Stunky was the main one we were looking for. Getting that red skunk would be amazing. So we went ahead, kept on knocking out some Mastiffs and some Stunkies, ran around for a bit, and it was a lot more bearable than dealing with Cyclozards. Occasionally one would spawn, but we could overlook it. After a little while of running around, knocking out, and honestly just exploring, we ran into something. And honestly, I think I missed it at first.
Oh my god, shiny pig. I'm like almost 100% certain. Yep. No. Don't you fucking run. Holy shit, that scared me bad. There's our shiny.
Do you notice me slowing it down? Yeah, that's because I completely missed it. How I missed the shiny Oinkologne is beyond me. Like, I don't get it. How can you miss that? It's bright white and pink. But it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Shiny Oinkologne went ahead and made it so we can now go ahead and move out of Area 2. West Province, Area 2 has been completed. Shiny Oinkologne joins the Area Lock Golden Box. Now, I had a very special mission for Castle Royal Lake, and I did something a little bit different. I decided to have the lake itself and the area behind it where you find the ruin Pokemon, that patch of forest back there, I counted them separately. So I have to catch an extra Pokemon. But obviously at the lake, I decided to go ahead and just swim around for a bit. I did still have the dark type sandwich up, so Stunky and Skunktank were still spawning on land. So I did have to swim around the lake a little bit, but in the end, I decided to go ahead and make a flying type sandwich because my one goal was the big red beast himself, Gyarados. Trying to find the right area for Gyarados to spawn with a flying type sandwich is a little bit of a nightmare. Obviously, you can try and cut down where he spawns by looking at, like, you know, his Pokédex entry and all that sort of stuff, but where's the fun in that? In the end, I decided to look around. I did want to consider Tropius, but I think at the end of the day, I did want Gyarados more. The bright red of a Gyarados is just amazing. Veluza, go away. We did have multiple Veluzas chasing us, but at the end of it, I did find a good technique on this little patch of island here. I would simply be at the water's edge, looking around, knock out a Gyarados or two occasionally, and then just run up it. Look around and glide down, because behind me, Tropius spawned in droves. So I'd go ahead and run up, see nothing, glide down, occasionally check a Slowpoke because I know my luck I'll miss it. So that let me tackle both Tropius and Gyarados at the same time. But honestly, this area has been my luckiest area yet. And I think rather than explain it to you or tell you, I think the best thing I can really do is just show you the luck I had on this lake. Let's go ahead and have a quick look, shall we? Wait, is that Shiny Gumi?
Let's go! I don't care, I've already got it.
How lucky can you be to get a shiny Gumi when you got a flying type sandwich? Like, what are the odds of that? Getting a Pokemon shiny of the one type you're not hunting. I mean, I know it's happened to me multiple times already, but look, it's a shiny Gumi. It's wonderful. It's amazing. I love the yellow and pink and purple. It looked amazing. It was wonderful.
Yeet! Got it!
And a shiny Gyarados! Oh my god, I see it! You can tell I was a little bit excited the fact that I got 2 shinies. 2! How the hell does one pull that off? And I'm not, I kid you not, I was panicking. I didn't know what Pokeball to throw. I didn't know how to catch it. Pure panic set in. Gyarados is far enough away where he can despawn at any moment. He is that distance away. He swims out too far, he's gone, and I lose a shiny. Oh my god, the panic set in. I didn't know what to throw. I just threw random Ultra Balls, but eventually I calmed down and decided to just relax, take a moment, figure out what I wanted to do, whittled it down, put it to sleep, threw the correct Pokeball, and Jesus, I swear to God, Gumi and the Hillball were meant to be. Pink, yellow, and purple. At one point, Gyarados was in my field of view, so I did have to double check.
That's fine. Save now so we don't lose him. Okay, Gyarados is now permanently here. Okay, we're good. Come here, Gyarados. Come here, Gyarados. Yeah, that's right. I noticed you. You noticed me. Yeah. Turn around, motherfucker. Yes!
And now, with a shiny Gyarados, there was only one thing left to do. Catch it in a goddamn Pokeball because it's red and white. But with that, the lake is done with 2 amazing shinies, Gumi and Gyarados. God, I can't afford to lose them at all. But that's Castle Royale Lake done and completed with 2 shinies. Next, we had the trail, the area behind the lake. I decided to go ahead and make my life a living hell by having to make it so I have to catch another one. Yeah, that's right. I don't like myself apparently. So we went ahead and decided to just roll with it. We didn't know exactly what we were going for. There were bug types, a couple of other typings. I did have bug type just spawn, lots of fortresses, which I reckon would be a really nice shiny. But after looking around for a little bit and finding out you can climb up here and get other stuff spawn up here, I didn't really know what to go for. I did have the flying type sandwich up still, so I was getting Murkrow and Haunchcrow, but nothing really stood out for what I wanted. But then after a little while, I realized I have the perfect Pokemon for this area that I should just go ahead and get. And it is a beautiful shiny, and it just made sense. So I went ahead, opened my picnic, and decided to make a fighting level 2 sandwich. We're going for Heracross, baby. We want the pink boy. Bright pink sexy boy. Once we get that bright pink beetle, oof, it's going to be great. And if we can get one with a love heart horn, oh, even better. But Heracross was the goal, and the fighting type sandwich meant it was basically just Heracross. Left, right, and center. I'd run up a little bit, knock some out, run back. Rinse and repeat, and that was the idea for finding Heracross in this little area. I didn't want to do too much and go too far and risk other stuff spawning in groups, so I did try to take it nice and slow for this area, but by God was I rewarded. I was rewarded so quickly for this area.
Oh, there it is! There it is! Shiny Heracross! Yes! It's not the female, it is the male, sadly, but we will still use the love ball on it. Ooh, let's go!
I tell you what, I am steamrolling since I started this stream for this part of the area lock. The lovely little grass area behind, completed. Heracross has been captured. Let's go ahead, move on to the next section, known as Area 3. This area left me completely brain dead. I had the fighting type sandwich up still, thank God, so I had Shroomish, Breloom, and Primeape spawning primarily. So, obviously, my ideal Pokemon to catch here, Breloom with the sandwich up, but honestly, I had no preference on what I catch here. Nothing really stood out and caught my eye. There wasn't really a main goal behind any of it. But with the fighting sandwich up, I decided to go ahead and roll with it and aim for Breloom and Shroomish. The bright orange would be really nice. And also with Primeape, I could make up for the Mankey I didn't get before. So after a little while, still on the first sandwich, not even 30 minutes passing from making the sandwich for the Heracross, we're just running around, looking around, and then something interesting happened in terms of my eyesight actually being helpful. Why does someone look different? Because it's the goddamn shiny. Got it. Shiny Primeape. To confirm. Won't go attack. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know how I spotted that. I think if I had done this on any other day, I would have thought it was just the lighting, turned around and walked away. But I found it really quickly, really smoothly, and honestly, it looks barely any different. But I can't complain. I have smashed through the entire West Province after the desert, one after the other, after the other, after the other, and in 2 sandwiches, no less, basically. After the desert, we basically made 2 sandwiches, 3 at most, I'd say, in terms of them running out, which was the dark, the flying, and the fighting. I'd say we're doing fantastic. But after encountering the Primeape, it was just deciding which Pokeball to use. And honestly, I can't complain with the results. Another shiny addition. Primeape no less, a Pokemon I really thought I'd missed with the Mankey. And we did make up for the Mankey with this Primeape. So, honestly, it was just great. And having him caught was one of the best feelings I could get. Knowing I can evolve him into Annihilate, which would be absolutely stupendous. But, yeah, that's it. That's the West Province done. With Area 3 captured a Primeape, we now move on to Lagtree Thicket. We all know it lags, but did you know there's a particular area where you can get a little bit less laggy? Once you cross this bridge, still part of Lagtree Thicket, there's a lot less lag. And in a way, different Pokemon spawn. So I decided to go ahead and make a beautiful Fairy Encounter 2. This gave me Impidimps and Mimikyus. 2 Pokemon, more chances. I really wanted the Mimikyu or the Impidimp. Honestly, they were the only 2 that I really had my eyes set on for this area. Impidimp, a very obvious difference with it being bright blue. And Mimikyu, I've never caught one, and I have yet to catch one to this day. A shiny Mimikyu. So with Mimikyu there, it just seemed like a good way to just hit 2 birds, 1 stone. And have a chance of getting both of the ones I want, one after the other. Obviously, sometimes your dreams can't come true, but if I could get one of them, it'd be fantastic. I'd have no issues. I did manage to find a good area to run around by the water. So you'd run around the water, head up back here, see a couple things spawning, and see if there's any shinies. Did have to keep an extra strong eye out for the Mimikyu, because obviously in the shade it can look extremely different in some cases. So you had to be extra careful in terms of running into them and everything like that. Yes, there's a Virizion. No, I still haven't caught it yet. don't judge me, okay? You're going to see a lot of that. But unfortunately, I did have to end the day there. But I did start the new day with a new stream. I went ahead, made another Fairy Encounter 2 sandwich, and decided to rock with it. So at the start of this stream, we went immediately Fairy Encounter 2 and just went on with our day. Decided to go ahead, look around for the Impidimps. Thankfully, the Impidimps spawn in groups with a Morgrim in the middle, and Mimikyus just spawn everywhere. So with Fairy Encounter, it just seemed perfect. You'd run around for the lake a little bit, run behind it, check every Pokemon. If you see anything good, you go for it. But obviously, it can take a little bit of a long time. So after a little while, we decided to go ahead and just keep running around. On and off Koraidon. But after a little while...
There it is! Shiny! I see it! Morgrim! There it is!
Hell yes. Look at it. Look at him. So cool. I love it. Hi, my guy. Hi. How you doing? So blue, purple, red, and white. Holy crap. I got the Morgrim of all things. The one that was spawning perhaps the least out of all the fairy types. And honestly, its shiny looks sick. I did not expect its shiny to look like that. But oh my god. Morgrim goes ahead and joins us. Lagtree Thicket is complete. I did this a bit out of order and decided to go for Area 2 next. North Province, Area 2. I'm not going to lie, I had no idea where to go for this one. Running up and down, looking around, I had no real clue of where I wanted to go. Obviously, you have the bamboo area, which does count as part of it, but at the same time, I didn't want to count it, if that makes sense. So we ran around for a little bit, just looking around, seeing what was available to us. We had lots of grass types, water types, flying types, dragon types. There was a bit of everything. Some fire types, like Numel and Camerupt. I had no real vibe for what I wanted. But I think after a little while of just roaming around the entire area, which did take me a little while, with no real encounter power up, the fairy type was there, but nothing really spawned fairy type wise, so basically normal spawns. I had no idea what to go for. After a little while of seeing Go-Goats and Noibats, Noivern, Low-Kicks, and everything, I just decided. After seeing a Dragonite and the Naclees and all that spawning, which did scare the bejesus out of me, I think the end of the goal was Dragon types. So we decided to go for a Dragon type level 2 sandwich and rolled with it. We made the sandwich and checked inside this cave again. Decided to see if we were lucky. We weren't. But not long after, I'd say my luck is just on a high right now. Because, well, this happened.
I feel as nice as it would be to have a Dratini, I feel like Noibat is the safer bet here, because more of them are going to spawn, and I'm not going to be near water as much, really. Like right here.
Oh! 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 It's there! It's there! No! Save! Save!
There it is! I see it!
No! That one! No! That one! That one!
Oh my god! Oh!
That's right. We went ahead and caught the Noibat. Lovely blue and black. I love it shiny. But thank God for that, because that is now Area 2 before Area 1 completed with a Noibat. Up next, we decided to do North Province Area 1, and we still had the Dragon-type sandwich with us. So, obviously, in this area, we had Swablu, Altaria, Dratini, Axew, Fracture. We had a bunch of dragon types spawning, which was good for us. So we decided to just look around for a little bit with dragon types. I think I did one whole lap around the lake. But yeah, I think after just going around the lake once, I decided to stick with dragon type. And, well, yeah. I did one full lap.
More Dratini. Fracture and Axew again.
Wait. That's Shiny Axew! Shiny Axew! It's there! Look at it! Look at him!
Pokemon love me. The shinies are loving me. Where did this luck come from? This blast just happened. Axew is caught. North Province Area 1 complete. Oh my god, we're on a roll. There's no way anything can just take us down from here. So now we're on the mountain, the Snow Mountain, and I honestly, with this high that I was feeling while streaming this, I thought nothing could get me down. Nothing could stop me. I'm on a roll. We still had the Dragon type sandwich, the very first one. We still had it with us. So Frigibax was spawning. And I thought, why not go for the pseudo of Scarlet and Violet? And I looked around for a little bit, checked high and low, ran back and forth, looked around basically the entire mountain area, just looking for a shiny one. And after a little while, the sandwich unfortunately did run out. And after looking at the shiny and seeing the difference between them, I decided not to go for it. Because trying to tell the difference between a shiny and a regular one was just going to be too difficult for us. And honestly, part of me feels like that was the mistake and what led to everything going wrong. I did check on Spiritomb. Spiritomb was not shiny, but it was worth a gamble. But I think after a little while looking, I decided to go ahead and change my targets. And we went for grass. I decided to go for Snover and a Bomber Snow. And I found a nice little area where a decent amount spawn, including in a group spawn. Unfortunately, we did still get things like Cubchoo and Beartix, and the occasional Citadel. But I think it was still worth a change. With that being said, though, I did end up having to end the stream because we found nothing for the rest of it. Yeah. But we started up the next day. Kept going, and I found this location, which I have used before to shiny hunt, but it was for Sneasel. And it was a good area for Sneasel, honestly, trying to get loads of Sneasels to spawn. So I decided to keep looking around in this area, roaming around. We did still get the Snover and the Bomber Snow as well. And we did get Dealing and Swordsbuck as well. So, nice combination for the grass-type sandwich, honestly. I have no complaints in that regard. But after a little while, I decided to change my targets and set my sights on something a little bit different, but low-key has a great shiny. We changed to a flying-type sandwich, and I'm sure you all know what that means. We are hunting the one and only Santa Claus, also known as Delibird. Delibird shiny is low-key really good, in my opinion. Like, low-key, I love it. It's one of the few shinies that I look at and go, it's a nice difference compared to the original. And it's not one of those where it's just saturated. So I decided to run around and hunt for shiny Delibird. I'd run to one end, look around, knock out a couple, run back up. Occasional picnic resets, the normal. Wouldn't really run, I'd more take a stroll, but yeah, doing the knockouts unfortunately did mean other stuff could spawn apart from Delibirds. But I think it all just worked out in the end, but a little while after gliding around and running around and knocking out, it happened.
There it is. There's Delibird. Oh.
You're immediately going Breloom.
that one. And it's marked. I'm pretty sure.
We got the shiny Delibird. And honestly, I couldn't be happier. I did decide to use the Master Ball because it is purple. Screw it, I have spares. But that is the mountains done. Delibird is caught, one area left to go, and that is North Province, Area 3. This area was weird. I didn't really know what to go for. I decided to look around for a little bit and gauge my options. We had a grass types, fairy types, flying types, water types because we're right by the ocean. We had electric types for Kilowattrel, Pyukumuku. We had bug types, Combee. We couldn't risk the Vivillon though because we had a Scatterbug from Area 1. All the way back in the South Province. Not Area 1, Picopath, sorry, not Area 1. I'm mixing them up. But yeah, I decided to run around. We did see Gyarados as well, so I didn't want to get too close to the ocean. We were here for a long time because we did like at least 2 full cycles. And didn't really have an idea of what I wanted to get. I did set up a flying type sandwich because I feel like Wattrel was a good bet. I hadn't caught a Wattrel or a Kilowattrel, and I wanted one of those. The shiny is pretty obvious to tell as well. Brown instead of black. I feel like it's a bit more just like obvious and much more eye-popping to see. If we got too close to the water though, Gyarados would spawn, so we did have to be careful. And with Wugtrios around as well, near the Kilowattrels, it meant we could risk and have a chance of catching that as well. So with the flying type, we would do a full loop because we'd go back up and see if we could also get, well, Flamigo, which was also a great option. Much more saturated pink. Again, not one of the best shinies out there, but it was a shiny nonetheless. We did decide to look around a little bit, but with all the flying types, it just seemed like a logical choice to go for. But after a little while of running around, seeing Combees, all the flying types that were there, something peculiar just happened while I was strolling.
Exist.
Oh! Shiny Hoppip! Shiny Hoppip! Holy shit, a brick. Hi, buddy. You're gonna be my shiny encounter for the area lock, if you don't mind.
And that's it. With Hoppip done, that's Area 3 completed. We have all of them. The area lock is complete. And that is North Province Area 3 done. Alright people, I want to thank you guys so much for coming through. We managed to somehow pull off this amazing area lock. I'm surprised I got lucky in some parts. As we all saw, my luck went up and down throughout the entire thing, and it was a struggle, let me tell you that. Struggled trying to keep up with everything and make sure everything ran smoothly, and you know, it all just worked out. If it didn't work out, I was going to cry. I know I got luckier than Nokimon in some cases. 12-hour mark. But I also know in some places I got unlucky, whereas he got things really quickly. But, again, huge shout out to Nokimon for the inspiration for this video. Their video was the one I watched and got inspired by it, so big shout out to Nokimon. And they just uploaded another video based on when I'm up and watching it, current time. But, yes, we have a plan coming up for the 18th of May. It will begin 9 AM in the UK time zone. I'll be sure to put that up around me somewhere. We'll go with right here. Right here seems like a good place to put it. Right here. I'll put up a time, a date, all the information needed for it. But it's going to be the 24-hour challenge. Similar to what Nokimon did. Basically the exact same. Where I give myself 24 hours to go ahead and catch the last of the Paradox Pokemon. I will be doing it as a stream, not a video. So it'll be streamed on my Twitch, which again, I'm going to plug this side rather than this side. Right here, I'll plug my Twitch. And ensure everything goes on smoothly. I just can't thank you guys enough for the support through the Pokemon stuff that I'm doing at the moment. I'm trying to get up on Pokemon, and I know it's not everyone's cup of tea. and it's not what everyone enjoys on Twitch, on YouTube, and all that. It's not something big for some people, but for those that are sticking around and support me, I do just want to give you a big thank you, and thank you for the support, because honestly, this challenge has drained me, and getting the videos done has completely run out my battery, so I'm going to do a best to recharge before we do the stream, get a good night's sleep beforehand, and start at the good time, and go for as long as we need to. Hopefully I don't have to take up the full 24 hours, but if I, you know, finish early, we might do some other stuff. I'm rambling. I need to stop rambling. But anyway, yes, recap, stream, Twitch, British Standard Time, or whatever it's going to be, is going to be 9 AM, Sunday the 18th. It will be a 24-hour stream at the longest, and that will be to catch all the Paradox Pokemon. And that will make or break the Area Lock Challenge. I'm having a chat with some mates to get some more ideas out there. That is going to be a surprise, though, in terms of what we're doing. But with that being said, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let's go ahead, end this video, and I'll see all you lovely people Sunday for the final part of the Area Lock. I need a fucking rest, man.